It's been said that very often the people who are involved with the Fixed Ops Roundtable are teachers and are educators. And I have to say that since the beginning, the humble beginnings of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, I have probably learned more than I ever have in my automotive career. And I want to attribute a lot of that to the gentleman who's with us now. It's David Boyle, who is the president and CEO at Traxtion, formerly Tire Profiles. Dave, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you, Ted. I'm humbled to hear you say that. I don't imagine this. Most of us have learned just as much from you as we have from anything over the years. But thank you for those kind words. I appreciate it.
Well, we've always known that tires are a retention tool, but you've really brought it to a new light. And the opportunities that dealers have, not just with the tires, but all the opportunities they bring us, the alignments and so forth. So, Dave, you've really done a great service and continue to do a great service. And I'm excited about this new chapter for you and moving forward now as Traxtion.
Yeah. It's same people, same guy here, same company, just new name, I guess. We decided we actually made this decision, ironically enough, at the beginning of COVID. Ted, we were gonna look to rebrand the company. Then, of course, COVID hit and everything changed, right? So we decided to put those plans on hold for a little bit, and then we sort of reintroduced everything at the first of the year, and happy to announce that we've gone through this transition successfully, and we now are Traxtion, formerly Tire Profiles. And one of the questions I get asked all the time is why change the name? And first and foremost, I'll make sure everybody knows we are the same company. But we really, there was myself personally in my career and for this company, a couple of years ago now, we sort of reached a bit of an inflection point where we were stepping back, taking a look and asking ourselves, are we really providing the level of service to our customers that we want to? And what I mean by that is that, I set out when we started this company, our goal was to help dealers sell more tires and alignments, and not just a little, a lot. Because I believe, as you know, and I've been beating this drum for years now, that I think a lot of dealers don't fully realize it yet. They're going to in the next few years. And I promise I won't say I told you so to anybody, but I will tell you that the next couple of years, I think there's some challenges ahead for everybody in this industry. And if we're not really entrenched in the work that's going to be left, the wear stuff, the around the wheel work, tires, brakes, batteries, and I won't include maintenance work in there because I think a lot of maintenance work is going to go away too, but specifically those things that wear out on cars and are going to continue to wear out on EVs and things like that. If dealers don't increase their market share here, when I started with this company, we one of the data points that we used to share with everybody, you've heard me say this on many roundtables, Ted, that dealers sell 100% of the cars, new cars anyway, and they sell 8% of the replacement tires. And that number has increased 1% in the decade that I've been doing this. It's gone from 8 to 9. And we just quite frankly need to do better at that because, those 90% that are buying tires elsewhere are also getting their vehicles serviced elsewhere. And if you believe some of the data and some of the statistics that Cox recently put out, they're not only buying buying service elsewhere, but they're likely buying vehicles elsewhere. For years, we've always wondered the impact that service retention and loyalty has on vehicle sales. And Cox Automotive recently published some data that suggests that actually put some hard numbers around this. And it's staggering the difference. It's something that, I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I'm not going to quote them directly here, but they were something to the effect of if a customer is loyal in your service department, meaning they've had one service visit in the 12-month period prior to making the purchase decision, then they're 75% likely to buy a vehicle from you. If they're not loyal to your service department, they're only 35% likely to buy another vehicle. If I'm off by a percentage point or two, it doesn't matter. That data alone ought to get every dealer's attention. We spend all this money marketing, trying to sell vehicles. And then truth be told, all we have to do is do something that they need anyway, which is to sell them tires and sell them things that they're defecting for today. Which we know are things like tires and brakes and some of the competitive competitive services that, quite frankly, they get shopped on, and many customers go elsewhere. And we have to figure out a way in our world. And again, selfishly, I like to promote my company, and obviously, I'd like to do business with every dealer that I can, but it's more than that for me. It's about making sure that dealers have got themselves in a position where they can be successful for many, many decades to come. And there's a big chunk of the service industry, quite frankly, that we're just not very good at as dealers. And this is why we changed the brand to Traxtion, quite frankly, was we realized, Ted, that we were not providing the value that we needed to. And what I mean by that is that, we started off as an equipment company, as you know. First Roundtable, that's what it was, our model. We were selling equipment that measured tires and alignments, and we've had some competitors come in over the years, and they're equipment providers as well. And we were all happy to sell some equipment, but I saw some things that were very troubling to me, and that is that the price of this equipment kept going up and up and up and up, to a point where it was out of reach it is become out of reach for a lot of dealers.
Sure.
And even for dealers that it's not out of reach, it's not at a price point that's allowing them to have full coverage. And what I mean by that is, if you're a shop that's got 3 inbound service lanes, you need to provide this level of service to all of your customers, not a third of them. So if you've got 3 inbound service lanes, you need to have the same process in all 3 inbound service lanes, not 1 out of 3.
And Dave, I see that all over North America, that it's just one lane where that technology is available. And by the way, if the advisor staff is not comfortable with it or hasn't been trained properly, guess what? They avoid that lane completely.
Right. And it really is, those, and we were guilty of it as well for a while. I mean, those companies and mine as well, we're guilty of just trying to sell something to a dealer rather than trying to implement the proper process. So we decided to make a change with Traxtion, and we've completely, we were a major disruptor, as you know, in this industry a decade ago. When we first started talking to dealers about using lasers and cameras to measure tire tread depth rather than a 10-cent stick gauge from Pep Boys, people thought we were nuts. But we were a disruptor. We wanted, our goal was to change the industry, and we are, with our launch of the Traxtion brand, we look to be a disruptor again. And specifically what I mean by that, Ted, is we're taking the equipment out of the equation. So we've decided that part of our business model is going to be that the equipment is just a part of the solution. It's just the data capture piece of the solution. And we need to take the decision of whether I put this in 1 lane, 2 lanes, 3 lanes, or whatever, out of the hands of the dealer. And we need to say, look, we're going to give you the equipment that you need in order to be successful. And when I say give, I mean give. We're going to provide the equipment, much like the cell phone carriers do. If you go to AT&T and you sign up for a 2-year, data subscription with AT&T, they'll give you a free iPhone. So in the Traxtion world, these data collection equipment that we've manufactured now for the past decade, we're going to provide, we're going to own it, and we're going to provide it, and we're going to allow dealers to use it. And they're just going to pay, for the software. And we found that the dealers love this. They love the fact that there's no major CapEx. They love the fact that this is a monthly variable expense. They love the fact that since we own it, it's now guaranteed, it's now warranted for life. We have a lifetime warranty, which means free repairs no matter what happens to it. We offer love it or leave it programs. We let dealers try it for 90 days. If they don't like it, we'll take it out. We're really trying to be the right kind of partner, with dealers going forward, because it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about my competitors. It's not about selling equipment. In my opinion, it's always been about helping dealers retain their customers and sell more tires and ultimately sell more vehicles.
You told me recently that you were asked, besides Traxtion, if there was one thing that you would recommend to dealers getting into the tire or thinking of getting into the tire game, what would that be? Would you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, it was. I was actually at an event not that long ago, and I got asked this question. And somebody obviously knew what I do for a living, and they said, without the obvious answer, which is to buy Traxtion, what should dealers do? And it's It's a complicated answer, but it's a simple answer. And I'll start by saying what it's not. It's not about price. It's not about product. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about one thing and one thing only, and that's convenience. Convenience is the number one thing that dealers need to figure out in order to really be successful in the tire business. It's the one thing that they're not, that their competition, the aftermarket, is. And it's a challenge, Ted, because listen, if you're a Big O tire or a tire shop, all you do is tires and light repair and brakes, but everything you do is a customer pay focused business. Dealers have the added challenge of doing everything. They've got to be a customer pay focused business. They've got to be a warranty focused business. They've got to be an internal focused business. It's a much more complex business and a much more complex business to run. And traditionally, we've been more heavily focused in one area, and for decades we were, lots of warranty and lots of internal, and CP was there. But one of the things that dealers need to realize is those three buckets that I'm referring to, the warranty piece, the internal work, and the customer pay piece, they don't necessarily work well together. They're different businesses to run. And what I mean by that is that, customer brings their car in for a warranty repair that only you can do. And it's a fairly complex repair that only your technicians, can do, taking the car and keeping the car, dropping it off and taking a shuttle home, or even giving them a loaner car where their car's tied up for the whole day. That's an acceptable business process. You bring a customer's car in the morning for a set of tires, even if you offer them a loaner car, you haven't met their expectations. Their expectations are they want to wait for it, and they want to be in and out in under an hour. And dealers' processes, the way we write repair orders, dispatch repair orders, fix cars, get parts from the parts department, you name it, dealers' processes just really aren't geared to be in that business. So when this guy asked the question, I answered the question in probably a way he wasn't expecting. And I said, it's time that dealers take a step back, and we almost need to create a business inside of our business. We need to take a Pep Boys and put a Pep Boys inside your business. And I even went as far to, and I had a dealer ask me a follow-up question, and I even went as far to say, if I were a dealer right now, and I was sitting on some cash, which a lot of them are right now, given the money that we're making, I would go and find a successful independent tire and light repair shop in my town, and I would buy it. I'd buy that business hook, line, and sinker. And if I was Bob's, Ford dealer, I would open up Bob's repair shop as a satellite repair facility, and I would start funneling all that light repair stuff over there, because quite frankly, those businesses are geared from a facility and a process standpoint to be able to provide the type of service that customers are going to demand for this type of work. They're going to demand, in and out service. They're going to demand full Saturdays, full Sundays, in some cases, late night hours. It's a different business than dealers traditionally do. And we can try things like pickup and delivery, and those are good things. I'm not suggesting they're not, but we can try pickup and delivery. We can try mobile service. We can try all of those things. And I support all of those things. But in the end, I think it's something bigger than that. And I think the dealers just really need to take a step back, and the blueprint for success is right in front of them, literally. I mean, I tell dealers all the time, when you're driving to the dealership, look around you, and the way in, you'll see all of your tire and alignment and brake company competitors are all around you. We need to mimic what they have. We need to mimic their processes, because that will get us the convenience. That'll get us the cost of sale in the right place where we can make money. At this, it's I always hear, well, I can't make money at tires, and the technician pay rates that dealers have make that hard, right? So that was my answer that I gave him, was, it's time that we rethink this business, quite frankly, and decide that, the business that we've perfected over the years, that whole model necessarily just doesn't fit being really successful, in the tire and alignment and light repair business.
Everyone, if there's one thing we are hearing this week at the Fixed Ops Roundtable over and over, it's the importance of retention and retaining our business. And David Boyle is very humble, but he is the leader in helping you as the dealer retain retention, retain your business. And he has the tools to help, the latest tools to help your team do that. David Boyle has rebranded his company as Traxtion. And Dave, when our audience wants to reach out to you and find out how you can help them, what's the best way that they can reach you?
Well, my number's going, that's my cell phone number, by the way, going across the bottom of the screen. So anybody feel free to call me. I'm usually open for business 24 hours a day. I'll answer it any day or night. But I encourage everyone to take a look at our brand new website, traxtion.com, Traxtion with an X in the middle, traxtion.com. We've rebranded. We've got a brand new website, lots of great information on there, and some coming attractions on there in terms of some new product stuff that we're getting ready to showcase at NADA this year, which I'm happy to say we're going to have a live event at NADA this year, and we're going to go out and shake hands with people and no masks in Las Vegas. So that's going to be a good thing, I think. We'll get some people out there to the show, I hope. But go to our new website and check us out. There's a lot of good. There's just some video content down there, and like I said, a lot of content. You can click for a demo right there and set an appointment to have one of our guys do a demo for you and get all the information that you need.
All right, everybody. I encourage you to reach out to David Boyle. He is the leader in helping you retain your business, which is so important as we are hearing now going into the future. David Boyle, on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable and community, thank you so much that you and Traxtion do for our industry.
Thank you, Ted. It's been a pleasure to be involved in this thing with you guys now and the Roundtable for years, and look forward to many more years of doing this together, my friend. I appreciate it.
David Boyle here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thanks, everybody.